This video will last 10 minutes long. My job, I have a random list made by a friend of lots and lots of Doctor Who villains and monsters. It is my job to say whether they need have a future in the show or they need to be gone forever. Someone in the comments below, please count up how many I do. If you want to take on this challenge yourself, create a YouTube channel and do it yourself. Here we go. The Weeping Angels. No, the Weeping Angels are done. We've had too many repetitive storylines with them. I think there is nothing more we can do with those characters. The Daleks, they are a very overused character, I will completely admit, but they are such an iconic character. You've got to have Daleks in eventually, but I am glad they're on a break. The Master, Missy, Spymaster, or I don't know why he's put Spymaster in there. The Master, definitely. I think the benefits of the Master / Missy is that a human actor gets to play them, so I'm all for like the prosthetics and all of that jazz, but I think that human actor and that rivalry you can have with the Doctor and that relationship, there will always be room for the Master / Missy. The Cybermen, again, they're at that level of character with the Daleks where I think it's right that they're on a break, but I think there is room for them in the show. I'd love the show to embrace the body horror elements of the Cybermen a little bit more. I think there is so much more you can do with the Cybermen. Davros is done. I think we kind of just keep killing Davros and bringing him back, and I don't think there's anything particularly new to do with the character, but if Julian Bleach wants to do it, I'm not too opposed to it, because Julian Bleach is just so fantastic in the role. If it was a new actor, no, I think Davros is done. Who's next? The Zygons. Yes, 100%. Zygon Invasion Inversion, I think, is such an underrated set of episodes, and I love, you know, the characters, like the Silurians and Sea Devils. I love when these characters have specific, like, you know, like land-based, you know, controversies with humans, and we're trying to do that. My only thing is it depends what the War Between the Land and Sea does. If the War Between the Land and Sea kind of covers, you know, the whole, like, space, like, you know, we want Earth, no, we want Earth, if it kind of covers that plot line in an entire series, there might not be enough plot reasons to bring the Zygons back, personally. The Sea Devils, they're coming back, so we'll have to wait and see. The Silence, no, they're one and done. I only think you should bring back a character if you've got more to do or say with that character, or they're just too iconic to leave out. I don't think with the Silence you've got anything new or interesting to say, so bin them off. The Ice Warriors, pretty similar. The problem is we haven't had a good modern Ice Warrior episode, so maybe, but I'll be leaning towards no. We've got some great stuff with classic stuff with the Ice Warriors. Let's let sleeping dogs die. The Judoon, yes, I think the Judoon really work well in a comedic episode. I couldn't tell you which exact series, but the Sarah Jane Adventures episode with the Judoon is hilarious. I would love to see a more comedic take on the Judoon. Like what they did with Sontarans, even though you shouldn't make Sontarans comical, make the Judoon comical. That would be, oh, so good. The Autons, I mean, they could come back. No, we've kind of done all we can with shop window dummies shooting people. You know, they would have to come up with a new twist on the formula. But we stand Rose and we stand the Third Doctor episodes. Who is next? The Sontarans. Yes. See, he's put here the Sontarans classic and Strax era. No. Classic Sontarans, yes, like the warring, serious Sontarans. I loved War of the Sontarans. I love the series 4-2-part. The Sontarans are my personal favourite. I've got a childhood nostalgia towards the Sontarans. I think Sontarans are just such a, like slightly funny, yet you can just make such an epic, like, finale or something with Sontarans. Yes, please, more Sontarans. Who is next? The Great Intelligence. I mean, if you could bring... That's an odd one to put on this list. If you could bring back Richard E. Grant to do something with The Great Intelligence, sure, why not? I think that could be a little bit of fun. The Slitheen, definitely. I think you might have to adult them up a little bit. I think the farting might be a little bit too much. I'm thinking more... Is it Boomtown? You know, the episode with Margaret the Slitheen on their own? I'd like something a bit more that style, unless... I'm not going to be too offended if the Slitheen never show up again. They were great in like a Sarah Jane Adventure style story, which is why I do think if there was the budget for that kind of like storytelling, That would be great, but I don't think we'll ever get that. I'm wasting time. I want to get through as many things possible. Omega, no. We've just had Omega. He was done really rubbishly. Bin that content. Let's just evaporate that from our minds. The Ood. Thing is, I quite like when the Ood appear in a non-villainous context. I think we've told all of the stories we can of them in a villainous context. But when they just kind of just appear as characters, like as a nice, good characters in their own right, yeah, I am genuinely all for that. The Sycorax, meh. You know, the problem with Doctor Who, obviously, you know, you have a lot of just, like, invasive species that, you know, don't have too much to them apart from the fact that they've got a cool design, they're an invasive species. The Sycorax, yeah, as their own villains, I don't think they're a particularly interesting enough villain to come back again. The Rani, yes, Anita Dobson. Anita Dobson, when she does terrifying, is terrifying. Anita Dobson, when she does the jokey Rani, meh. So I'm hoping, unfortunately, we lost Archie Punjabis to the awful Omega. So, yeah, if we can get the serious Anita Dobson to come back and do another story, yes, please, but not the jokey stuff, because it wasn't funny and just felt a bit icky and weird. The Toymaker, yes. If Neil Patrick Harris wants to come and do another round, yes, please. I'm not sure how you'd do a resolution, because we've kind of... We've resolved the Toymaker stuff, so obviously, you know, if the Toymaker was to never come back, I think the Toymaker should come back, along with other gods, to wrap up the god shtick in the next series. That would be my personal vote. I'm a bit done with the god stuff, so let's bring all the gods together one last time, do a big finale, and then we wrap up the Pantheon shtick. The Vashta Narada, no, do not... there is nothing... The Vashta Narada are great, but they are one-dimensional. You would have to change something about them to bring them back. Their story is perfect. Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead is fantastic. Do not mess with that legacy. Then again, I'd have said that to you about the Midnight Entity, and they brought back the Midnight Entity and did an amazing job. Bonus one, it's not on here. Yes, I would be so interested in completing the Midnight Trilogy. Yes, please, that would be amazing. Okay, we've got the Krillitanes. Yes, but only if they come back in a new design. The whole point of the Krillitanes is obviously, you know, then obviously we see them in School Reunion in bat form. But I would be really, really interested to see them, you know, what they evolve into the format next, because then you almost get to, you know, revolve a story almost around a completely new monster, but then just call them Krillitanes. You get the best of both worlds, a little kick of nostalgia, and get to tell a completely new story. Plus, again, I mean, there would be no reason for him to come back, but, I mean... No, because the specific Anthony Head... I want Anthony Head to come back. I'm wasting time, and he's got through more. I've only got 100 and something seconds left. Okay, we are going to go with the Adipose. The Adipose? No. The Adipose, there'll be literally no reason to bring back the Adipose. Again, self-contained story, doesn't need doing. The Rachnos. I would love to see more Rachnos creatures. Obviously, poor Sarah Parish did perish. But yeah, those cool spidery things. I'd love to see those in like a proper like action sequence. You felt that's one of the things Disney could really do with budget, is like you know, like make like a chasey style Rachnos sequence or an army of Rachnos Eye. I'm not sure if that's how really the Rachnos work, but that would be cool. I'd be down for that. I've got a minute left. I've got to get through some more. The Dream Lord is the next one. The Dream Lord would be utterly incred. I would love to see the Dream Lord, especially if Toby Jones could come back. I think there are so many more wacky, weird things you could do with the Dream Lord, and I would love to see that villain return. Who's next? I'm losing my place in the list. Damn it. The Toglophane? No. Definitely not white. No. Again, self-contained story, why would you do that? It's like I'm blaming the person who made the list for me, who did it very kindly. Thank you very much, you know who you are for making the list for me. No, obviously the Toglophane shouldn't come back, you silly man. Swarm and Azor. Yes, but only because if you know me, you know I wasn't personally a fan of the Flux, so I think they've got some interesting stuff to do, but I'm not sure you could bring them back without bringing back too much of the Flux. Let's do one more. Tim Shaw, definitely not. No, please don't bring back Tim Shaw. Bit of a rubbish villain. Everyone, that's the last one I'm going to do. Thank you very much for joining this video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. 10 minutes. I'm out of here.